let's start abstract class. Okay, so yesterday I have show you some concept. Now elaborately I discuss about this abstract class. So first of all, what to write? Abstract class is a incomplete class which contains abstract method. Abstract class is an incomplete class which contains abstract method. Second point, abstract method incomplete method where method is only declared but is implemented in derived class. The abstract method is an incomplete method where method is only declared but it is implemented in the derived class. Abstract class cannot be instantiated. Means it cannot create a object of abstract class.
Hello, sir. Sir, did you oops to abstract method जोटा हेटा
कौनटा
सर जो oops से जो हम जो abstract जो पढ़ते ले चारटा जो polymorphism encapsulate एटा सी ना
oops से पढ़ते ले abstraction पढ़ते ले
yes sir
abstract class is different class.
yes sir
We cannot create an object of abstract class. Then if a class derived from abstract class, then that class is bound to give all functionality to abstract method. If a class is derived from abstract class, then that class is bound to give all functionality to the abstract method. If it is not happen, then the derived class is So all large it means what? For defining an abstract class, define your abstract keyword, abstract class demo. So abstract class is defined to declare an abstract method. Abstract void show function. It is an incomplete function. Every function is having a body, but abstract function is not having any kind of body. It is only declare. So where it is implemented in the derived class. Suppose class derive extends from demo. And void show function. So it is implemented in the derived class. Suppose what time? Suppose in the abstract class we define
সেটা ভয়েড শো
କଣ ହେଇଛି?
सर से जो क्लास डिराइव्ड एक्सटेंड हम पर void show कोन आउट एल लिखिଛନ୍ତି ନା
void l ରହିଛି.
ओके
It is an abstract show function. So abstract void, now I define here display function. Abstract void display. So now what happened? So here I defined two abstract function, but derived class is saying that I don't want to use this display function. I want to only use the show function. So derived class is not giving the functionality to the display function. So in that scenario, this derived class is also considered as an abstract class. So here it shows an error. It means what? If a class is derived from the abstract class, then that class is bound to give all the functionality to the abstract method. If it is not happen, the derived class is also considered as an abstract class. So now here your class, when a class is derived from abstract, so this line is saying that if a class is derived from abstract class, then that class is bound to give all functionality to the abstract method. If it is not happened, then the derived class is also considered as abstract class. Now
हेलो सर सर जो void show ଆମେ ନେଲେ ବୋଲି ଏଠି ଏରର ଆସିଲା ଯଦି void display ନବା ତ ତାହେଲେ ଆଉ ସେଠି ଏରର ହବନି sir ଆସିବନି
ମୁଁ କଣ କହିଲି? ମୁଁ କହିଲି ଯେ
yes sir
ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ କ୍ଲାସ derived class abstract class ରୁ derive होଥାଏ, ତ ଯଦି ସେ abstract
yes
class
sir
ରେ ଦୁଇଟା abstract method ଅଛି, तो जो मेथड abstract
yes
class
sir
रो derive हबो से मेथड टा बाउंड हबो दीटा फंक्शन को फंक्शनैलिटी दवा पाई जदि से गोटे
yes
फंक्शन
sir
को फंक्शनैलिटी दबो आ गोटे फंक्शन को फंक्शनैलिटी न दबो तो से जगह रे
yes sir
डिराइव क्लास टा भी कंसीडर हवा जे abstract क्लास बुझेला
yes sir
ଏବେ ଆମେ ଯିବା ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମ ଦେଖିବା abstract class ର तो abstract class a demo now here I define a constructor class name is demo constructor name is demo now here I define a function void display function it is a normal function abstract class it doesn't mean it only contain the abstract method it also contain the complete method so here complete method is present but for defining the abstract function we require a abstract class abstract function को define करने के लिए abstract class का जरूरत है ऐसा नहीं है कि abstract class में आप complete function define नहीं कर सकते तो यहाँ पर मैंने complete function define किया तो यहाँ पर देखिए class name abstract cd extends from demo so I define a class which is a child class It is extends from demo. Now here I implement void show function. Okay, so void show function means the abstract function is implemented here. Void show function. Now what happened? I am creating a object of abstract class. I am creating a object of abstract class, and through this object I call the show function, I dot show function. So when I call I dot show function, it is showing you child class implement abstract function. Then at the time of creating a object of abstract class means child class, at that timing abstract class constructor is automatically called. As we know that abstract class object cannot be created, means you cannot instantiate the abstract class. So at the time of creating the child class object, at that timing the abstract class function, abstract class constructor is called. Okay, then I dot show function, then I dot display function. I dot show function is called this function I dot display, which is a parent class function. As parent class, for we cannot create the object of parent class function, so that in the child class object the parent class function is called here.
Hello, sir.
Hmm.
Abstract void show ଟିକେ କହିବେ ସେଠି ଇଏ
Abstract ବୁଝିପାରିଲିନି।
sir abstract void show ଯୋଉଠି ନେଇଛନ୍ତି function ସେଇଟା କଣ ପାଇଁ
ଏଟା ତ
ଯୋଉ system ଆଜ୍ଞା
abstract class function ଟା ଏମିତି define କରାଯାଏ, ଏଇଠି ବତେଇଲି ନା abstract void show, abstract function को define କରିବାକୁ ହେଲେ abstract keyword use କରାହେଲା, ତ ଏଠି ତ abstract
yes sir
function
ସେଇଟା yes sir ସେଇଟା ତଳେ ସେଠି
this is the output. The next concept, I move to the interface. Like that of abstract class in interface, here also we are defining a method. Okay, in the abstract class we are defining a method, abstract method, and it is implemented in the derived class. Similar way, in a interface also we are defining a method and it is implemented in the class where it is defined. So that is, if you say that the abstract class and interface, the functionality is same. In abstract class we are defining a method, it is implemented in the derived class. In the interface also, by defining a method, it is implemented in the class. Those are the class want to implement the interface. तो abstract class में भी वो इंटरफेस को यूज करता है. सॉरी, abstract क्लास में क्या होता है ना, जो फंक्शन आप डिफाइन करते हो वो यूज होता है डिराइव क्लास में. ओनली चाइल्ड क्लास is used or implement the abstract class function. In the interface also, we are defining a function and that function is implemented. Those are the class are using interface. तो दोनों में मैं सेम चीज बोल रहा हूँ. abstract क्लास में आप फंक्शन डिफाइन करो, वो फंक्शन चाइल्ड क्लास में यूज होगा. तो यहाँ पर फिर से और एक सिनेरियो आ गया. इंटरफेस में हम फंक्शन डिफाइन करते हैं and that function is used. Those are the class are using interface. Then what is the difference? Abstract class is saying that for the class relationship, means you are bound to pass the inheritance to use the function of abstract class method. But in the interface is not forcing you for the class relationship. Interface is not forcing you for the class relationship. Abstract class में क्या होता है ना, जो abstract method आप define करते हो वो सिर्फ derived class में use होता है. Interface में क्या होता है ना, जो class आप define करते हो, जो function आप define करते हो वो किसी भी class में use हो सकता है. It is not asking for you the class relationship. And many unrelated class are linked up to each other when they are using same interface. जैसे कि आपका WhatsApp का एक ग्रुप हो गया, तो you don't know, like we are creating, I am creating the Java group. So some of people you know, some of people you don't know, but you are linked to each other by this group. Interface is also like that. So you have to, when more than one class are using the same interface, so in that cases many unrelated classes are linked up to each other. So a public interface is a contract between the client code and that class that use the interface. In Java interface, you have to declare a method, but it doesn't have any kind of implementation like your abstract class. जैसे कि abstract class में हम मेथड डिफाइन करते हैं, उसका कुछ इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं रहता है. सिमिलर वे इंटरफेस में मेथड डिफाइन होता है, उसका कोई इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं होता है. So many unrelated class can implement the same interface. Many unrelated class implement the same interface. A class can implement many unrelated interface. So for defining interface, for how you have to define an interface, for defining an interface, we have to use the interface keyword. Okay. Interface, then interface name. Like I saw the example. interface my for defining an interface keyword is used. Suppose interface name is XYZ. So in the interface you define a function void display. Same function is defined but it is not having any implementation. Void show function. Function is declared, is not having any kind of implementation. Now for implementing the function, so for implementing the interface, we have to use, suppose I define a class demo XYZ. Class demo implements XYZ. So implements is a keyword for defining, implements is a keyword for defining an interface. Class demo implements XYZ. Okay, but in abstract class we are using extends keyword, but here we are using implements keyword for using the interface. Class demo implements XYZ. Now in this class you can implement the function void then display function. This one. In this way you have to implement the function. So what it's saying that abstract class declaring a method when one or more class are expected to implement. तो ऐसा कोई फंक्शन होगा जो फंक्शन एक से ज्यादा क्लास उसको यूज करना चाहते हैं तो उस जगह पर हम इंटरफेस यूज कर सकते हैं. Determining the object programming interface without revealing the actual body of the classes.
हेलो सर
हाँ कुआ
फर्स्ट पॉइंट आउथरे बुझेबे सर डिक्लेयरिंग मेथड दैट वन और मोर
गोटे मेथड को जदि एक रु अधिक
Yes, sir.
क्लास यूज करबा को चाहूचंती ताले से जगह रे हम
Yes, sir.
इंटरफेस यूज करबा.
ओके सर
जेला जेंति कि सलमान खान फैन क्लब आमे कहा सहित के रिलेटेड ना हो किंतु जेहेतु आमे सलमान खान को भल पाउछ आमे ता ग्रुप रे ऐड हे जाउछ बुझे सेमति आमे जावा क्लास ग्रुप so we are unrelated to each other but as we are studying or pursuing the Java so we are included in the Java group. Okay, main important thing is what now it is not forcing you the relationship class relationship. In abstract class it is forcing you for the class relationship. In the interface it doesn't forcing you for the class relationship. Capturing the similarity between the unrelated class without forcing the class relationship. Simulating multiple inheritance by declaring a class that implements several interfaces. So Java support simulating multiple inheritance means Java doesn't support the multiple inheritance, but in the case of interface it support the multiple inheritance. So in the case of you can say like interface Java support the multiple inheritance, but in the actually already we go through that Java doesn't support the inheritance multiple inheritance, but here it support the inheritance in the case multiple inheritance in the case of interface. Next, interface, it is used to determine the abstract type. Okay, so in the interface, we are defining a function. That function behave like a abstract type. It is not abstract type, but it behave like abstract type because it doesn't have any kind of implementation. It is only declare. It is a outline contract for a class. Means many unrelated class are linked up with each other by using same interface. So it is called as the outline contract. Inline contract means you have to pass the inheritance. So it is called as the outline contract. Similar to abstract class containing only public abstract method. It can contain the constant field. Interface contain the constant field. It can be okay. It can be used as a reference type. It contain a constant field. If you want to define any variable as constant, so you can use a constant field. It can be used as a reference type. When you are using graphic user interface application, so when we go for the GUI application, in the GUI application, many unrelated class we have to use. So it is a essential component of many design pattern. So when we're using graphic user interface application, so in that cases, we're using the interface. For using the interface, we're using implements keyword. For inheritance, in inheritance, we're using extends keyword. Okay, inheritance we're using extends keyword, but while you are using interface, we're using implements keyword. So rules for access specifier. When you define a method in an interface, okay, when you define a method in an interface, interface में जो method आप define करोगे, तो ये automatically abstract and public by default होगा. By default it is abstract and public. It cannot be declared as private and protected. आप इसको private define नहीं कर सकते हो. अगर आप private define करते हो तो वो दूसरा class में use नहीं होगा. तो as if you define a private, it is only used within that block where it is declared. So it cannot be declared as private and protected. Protected अगर define करोगे, वो सिर्फ child class में use होगा, दूसरा classes में use नहीं होगा. So it is abstract and public by default, cannot be declared as private and protected. Interface field. Field means the variable. In the interface, when you define a variable, the variable is public, static and final implicitly. Automatically it is public, static and final. Okay, public, static and final. Okay, so this is all about your interface theory. So tomorrow I will show you the practical of the interface. So how the interface is implemented in programmatically, that I will discuss tomorrow. Okay.